join the X-Men as they charge Eric the Red on a private airfield in Westchester. Attacking without hesitation, Cyclops and Colossus both strike quickly as a mysterious individual watches. Wolverine charges in to slash the villain, who begs that he's come in peace when the hero is struck from behind as someone yells that they've seen enough. The individual strikes again as he proclaims himself to be Galactus' former herald, Firelord, and defends Eric the Red. Kurt watches as Firelord easily makes short work of Cyclops and Colossus. Hoping to distract him from attacking the stronger members of the team, he leaps forward, kicking the newcomer, but Firelord reacts too quickly, striking Kurt's back. Storm yells that she's going to attack next as Banshee catches Nightcrawler, and the dazed hero yells that he's too powerful for her. Lashing out in one final attack, Firelord releases a beam from his eyes that causes the remaining heroes to be knocked out. Rushing over, Firelord asks if Eric is alright, as the villain wonders if the X-Men should have been roughed up so much. Firelord felt that they needed to be taught a lesson and that they're lucky to be alive. Eric then lies to his friend, claiming that the X-Men would have killed him without a second thought. Thinking back, he was afraid he'd failed when the X-Men escaped Magneto when he saw Firelord going by his base. Pretending to be attacked by Havoc and Polaris, he has them strike at the alien as he claims to have come in peace, and Alex yells to Lorna to strike him like they did Eric. Knocked down by the attack, Firelord's anger rises and he strikes out at the two attackers, easily defeating them. As Firelord checks on Eric, wanting to know why he was attacked, the villain lies that he's merely an explorer and tried to stop the X-Men from ruling the Earth. To prove himself, he led him to the heroes, knowing they'd attack first. His trust gained, Firelord vows to slay the leader of the X-Men, Charles Xavier. Turning to space, we find a ship that's been following Princess Lilandra as the captain is having trouble locating her, but isn't surprised as she used to be the Grand Admiral of the Imperial Fleet. The captain asks for a report on the world, learning the basics of Earth, when one of the helmsmen is worried about the Prime Directive but is disregarded. The woman analyzes the planet, learning of the various alien contact on it, when she discovers that Galactus has been there 4 times, having been defeated each, to the shock of the captain. Ordering an immediate scan on the entire planet, the captain worries they might be as strong as the Empire as they pull back but let loose a final salvo of missiles which strike the ship they've been hunting, but not before Lilandra manages to teleport away. Turning back to Earth, we find Charles in Jean's apartment as Misty Knight's explaining how they came to be roommates to Jean's parents. Glad they're getting along, Jean suddenly drops a tray as a beam appears behind her. Everyone stands watching as a being teleports in front of them when Charles screams that it's happening again, though others can see it this time. The teleportation complete, Charles faces the individual from his nightmares as they remove their helmet, revealing a woman speaking an alien tongue when she collapses, and Xavier yells out Lilandra's name. Rushing to help her, Jean notices how beautiful the alien woman is as she asks the professor how he seemed to know her, but Xavier isn't sure himself as they've never met when the wall implodes. Standing before them is Firelord as he demands the princess and Xavier. Jean yells for Misty to get her parents to safety as she tells the invader that he's made a mistake. Changing her clothes into her costume, she cries out her name, Phoenix, as she hurls him outside of her home. Shocked at her power, Firelord warns that she'll not keep him from Xavier as Jean demands to know why he's after the professor as he's done nothing and is surprised to find herself flying. Believing her to be lying, he's certain that the X-Men seek to rule the world. Looking at him in disbelief, she tells him that he's wrong and is prepared to stop him as she releases a savage attack, the blow sending him flying into a nearby building where he bounces off and lands with a loud explosion upon hitting the ground. Soaring back up amongst the fleeing crowd, Eric watches as Firelord returns to the fight and knows he only has one last chance to go after Xavier. Back with the fight, Firelord is confident in his powers as he wields the power cosmic from his time as Galactus' herald, and he releases a deadly bolt from his staff that strikes Jean. Switching to Jean's apartment, Lilandra awakens as Charles calms her, having taught her their language telepathically, when Eric the Red appears and Lilandra recognizes him as a man named Shikari. Confirming her claim, he reveals that she exiled him to Earth but now serves her brother as he releases a blast of energy. Taking a stunned Lilandra and Xavier to the roof, he begins constructing a Stargate when he spots the rest of the X-Men arriving and strikes down the hoverjet between Banshee and Storm. Inside the jet, Cyclops informs the others that the controls are fused and that they only have seconds to bail out of the ship when it explodes, sending them all flying. Switching back to Jean, she yells that she doesn't fear death as she releases a mental blast so powerful it sends Firelord flying 12 miles away. Prepared to finish the alien off, she's stopped by Charles, who wants her to return as he's learned from Lilandra important information, and agreeing to go back, Jean feels the urge to go and kill the attacker and worries as to what she's becoming. Below, Banshee and Storm have managed to catch the falling X-Men, but have lost track of Nightcrawler, though Wolverine isn't worried. Turning to Kurt, he's using his acrobatic skills to make his way to Jean's roof as he couldn't teleport there since he didn't get a good look at it, and upon reaching the top sees Eric leap through the Stargate with Lilandra, while Charles yells that he doesn't know what's going to happen. Nightcrawler tries to follow through, but the gate cuts off before he can, leaving Xavier to curse Eric's name, while Storm is awed by the approaching Phoenix. Jean tries to calm her parents, telling them that she'll explain later as Charles screams that they're helpless to save Lilandra since Eric shut off the Stargate behind him. Jean, though, is calm as she rehashes what he told her, that Lilandra led a revolt to stop her brother from destroying the universe, and having lost, sought out the X-Men to help her, and that Eric the Red was assigned to prevent that. Confident, she releases the power of the Phoenix, powering the Stargate up again. Cyclops is concerned as she used to be the weakest among them, but is showing more power than ever as he asks Charles if it's important that they go, and the professor says it is. With that affirmation, the team head through the Stargate. Phoenix decides to go along to help the others as Xavier wishes her luck and she flies through the portal. Fearing that he may well have sent them to their deaths, Misty sees Firelord approaching as he demands to know where Phoenix is so he can finish their fight on threat of destroying the world. Unafraid, he tells the alien that she's been sent far away and that though he may destroy the Earth if the X-Men fail, the universe itself will die.